Everybody loves a good vacation and an opportunity to travel and explore. But what if we told you that some of the most stunning tourist destinations in the world are now off limits? Popular spots our grandparents used to enjoy are no longer accessible, or simply no longer exist, and we are to blame. Take a look back at the vintage travel hotspots that are now confined to history, for an opportunity to appreciate what's lost forever. One. The Statue of Liberty torch. Lady Liberty has welcomed millions of immigrants to the American shore for more than a century. She also draws in tourists, who want to get to know her personally. In the old days, you could actually go up to her torch and look at all of New York City and what the statue is like from above. It was a spectacular view, as seen here. But then, there was an edict. The balcony that used to hold the crowds was deemed dangerous in 1916. We will likely never get to see what others once loved. Maybe one day, there will be a change to policy. But for now, we will just have to imagine the experience from the ground. It's still pretty magnificent. 2. Guaira Falls. Don't go chasing waterfalls, they said. But the world didn't listen. The glorious falls of Guaira were once on the border of Paraguay and Brazil. But if you'll go there now, you will find that there's no longer anything to be seen. The waterfalls used to churn out 13 million gallons of water a second and could be heard from 20 miles away. But that all changed in 1982 when they dried up. A newly constructed dam blocked off the water source, and that spelled the beginning of the end. There still are plenty of other water attractions out there, but we can't deny this is a loss. 3. The Azure Window. If you've ever thought about visiting the island of Malta, it might be because you saw the Azure Window all over many destination travel blogs. It's been a big deal on Instagram, too. Influencers love to show off next to this limestone marvel, and it was even featured in Game of Thrones. Thankfully, this natural scenery was caught on film so often. But actually, the window no longer exists. Mother Nature had the final word, and we can't argue. Even though it weathered countless storms over the years, one finally turned out to be too intense. In March 2017, the natural structure came crashing down. 4. The underwater Amazon. There were pretty spectacular coral reefs off of the Indonesian coast up until pretty recently. Near the area called Raja Ampat, a collection of coral and life was called the underwater Amazon. It was regarded as one of the best in the world, and you'd think it would be protected. But in 2017, there was a debating incident. Unbelievably, a British cruise ship crashed into it after veering off its planned route. Yes, seriously. The crash damaged 1,600 square meters of the reef, and experts are not optimistic that it is growing back anytime soon. It could take 100 years to naturally rebuild itself.
Before we proceed, please subscribe and don't forget to click the notification bell down below and leave your comments and suggestions.
5. Kaimu Beach. Kaimu Beach in Hawaii was a magical place, while it lasted. The site was known as a world-renowned black sand beach, a color that was strangely satisfying. Thousands of tourists flocked to this unique experience until 1990. There were few places on Earth to see pitch black sand between your toes. And now, there is one fewer, thanks to the Kilauea volcano. When it erupted, this place had absolutely no chance. Not only was the beach destroyed but the town of Kalapana was buried. Locals managed to rebuild it, but the beach was another matter. Now, it's all just a dreamy photo. 6. The Lascaux Beach Arch. Morocco has gotten a lot of attention in recent years thanks to Instagram. Whether it's gorgeous sunset weddings or selfies in the blue city, the country has no shortage of selfie seekers. One of the more popular tourist attractions has been a set of arched rock formations. Guaira Beach hosted this natural wonder, considered to be an ideal place to view sunsets. But sadly, that has all changed for the worse. One of the two famous arches on the beach actually fell down in 2016. It collapsed under its own weight. One is still standing, but scientists say both will be gone soon. Gravity is unavoidable, even for rocks. 7. Wedding cake rock. If you like cake and you like rocks, we've got a destination for it. But actually, we don't. This is a list of bygone sites, after all. Wedding Cake Rock in Australia was once an awesome place to sit and admire, attracting some of the biggest thrill seekers to the edge of its delicious-looking white cliff. It truly looked like a giant cake, and we get the appeal. Officials, however, had other feelings on the matter. In 2015, a fence was erected to stop everyone from walking to the edge. Experts say Wedding Cake Rock might actually all crumble in the next decade. For now, you have to stay away. Soon, you won't be able to see it from afar. 8. The Lascaux cave paintings. Archaeology enthusiasts all wish they could still visit this old wonder, but sadly, they cannot. The Lascaux cave paintings were discovered by local French teens in 1940, when the dog ran into a mysterious cavern. Inside, they discovered some 17,000-year-old caveman art. Tourists have come in waves to see them since, but there are problems with the site that just won't go away, no matter how much officials tried. First, they had to close it because of the breath of thousands of humans. The extra humidity was causing fungus to grow on the historical paintings. They reopened it, but soon found an infestation of black mold, so they were left with no other choice but to shut it down. Truly tragic. 9. Lovelock Bridge. There was once a local, quirky tradition on a bridge over the River Seine in Paris. People would attach little locks to the Pont des Arts bridge, and it created an incredible display over time. It was all fun and games until officials realized there were 700,000 locks clipped on the bridge. They did the math and that amounted to 45 tons. They feared all this weight would simply cause the bridge to collapse. In 2015, municipal workers cut them off, and that was the end of the locks. But there are still plenty of other attractions in Paris. Don't worry, you won't be bored. 10. The Tree of Ténéré. If you've been wondering about the most isolated tree on the planet, we have the tree for you. The Tree of Ténéré was once considered exactly that. Here it is, all alone in the middle of the Sahara Desert. What is it doing there? How did it survive? Those are all good questions. Apparently, the area used to be a bit more livable. The air was hospitable enough for one brave seed to sprout. The resulting tree became a landmark for travelers in the area for hundreds of years. That all changed when a madman ran it over with his truck. The Tree of Ténéré is all gone now. As a kind gesture, locals put a sculpture there to commemorate it.